is important.
Okay, I need to now actually do this a little bit in terms of breaking down specifics, but I do want to start with Amitabh on this. And the specific that I want to start with is many people believe that this could have been a year for a COVID tax, right? That did not happen, and we've been quoting extensively from your Oxfam inequality report, and I want to just bring up some of those. Can we just bring up those figures before we go to Amitabh? If we can just show what the Oxfam inequality report said, can we bring up those graphics? It spoke about the staggering increase in wealth of India's billionaires, and many are asking why at this time there could not have been a COVID cess, at least for billionaires like the Ambani and Danis. When we look at some of the other staggering figures, which basically point to 170,000 people losing their job every hour in April, as per their Oxfam inequality report. And that's, of course, contrasted at the other end with the fact that almost all households went down in income, and you actually had a Mukesh Ambani. We can switch to those numbers in just a moment from now, increasing his own wealth by 75%. Amitabh, do you want to come in there? Were you disappointed that there was no COVID cess?
Absolutely, Barkha. Deeply disappointed. As in, the question was asked that ultimately, for whom is the budget made? At least this tragic year, we should have seen the migrant worker, the frontline health worker, and the millions and millions of informal sector workers who lost their jobs at the center of this budget. And if you really look at that, I think it's a hugely disappointing budget, and disappointing at multiple levels, it's been said. But let me just, flag out 2 or 3 of those. One, the whole idea of redistribution is something which, anyways, our report is highlighting the need for redistribution, but that's been completely missed. The possibility of a wealth tax, some kind of a cess, at least in this unprecedented year, it has been completely missed out. Let me also look at broadly the social sector. As Santosh has already said, if you really look at the budget this year, it's actually just an increase of 33,000 crores, just 33,000 crores. Look at the health budget. I would say, before I go to the health budget, look at the social sector. I think the story is extremely disappointing across the social sector. Even on the health budget, the numbers that at least I have, that it was the revised estimate for the Ministry of Health, Ayush, all those 3 clubbed together, was 21,163 crores. Whereas now what we're looking at is a projection of only 10,565 crores. So even on the health, I think it's disappointing. Yes, we are looking at 35,000 crores on the vaccine, which is good. But again, our estimates tell us that we would need at least 52,000 crores if you're looking at a free vaccine for all. Just let's move to education. We've talked of education. And again, there's no real increase. And what you're really looking at is now suddenly coming up with this idea of 15,000 elite schools. What will happen to the 1.5 million schools, the digital divide that we have talked of? Look at NREGA, which really provided some kind of relief to the people in this country. And you have not seen any additional allocation for the NREGA. So it is a surprising budget. And it's certainly from the redistribution point of view, or from the point of view.
What would you have wanted to see, Amitabh, that you did not see? What would you have wanted to see?
So as I said, one, certainly in terms of some kind of a wealth tax, that would have been critical. But let's just pick health. As in, we do need to look at the details. But what I'm seeing is you're talking of a PM Swasth Atmanirbhar Yojana. The details are not there, but that's looking at only 64,000 crores over the next 5 years. So what is the real allocation? As in, we are still, as we've been constantly reminding everybody, that we are 4th from the bottom in terms of investments in health globally. We are at 1.6% of the GDP. Maybe at least post-COVID, we should have had increased it significantly higher, but that seems unlikely that we are looking at. So a budget which was actually focused on the social sector was looking at something like, say, an NREGA for the urban sector. It was very evident the distress the informal sector workers, the migrant workers went through. And I think all that is a huge, huge missed opportunity. And I would really say, ultimately budgets are the real policy intent of a government. And that's where you see the policy intent, that maybe it is really about catering to the billionaires and not looking at the
I mean,
majority of the
you're going so far as to say you think this is a budget that caters to the billionaires.
it does. It does. To the rich, it does not address the real needs of the common and ordinary people.
All right, I want actually Madhav